Tell us what you're doing, what you're looking forward to.
Right now, it's kind of preseason before the actual track season starts. So me and my coach are out there every day of the week, pretty much, except Fridays because those are my off days. But we're out there pretty much every day of the week, and just building strength for the upcoming season, and just preparing to get ready to hopefully make the team for Tokyo. That's pretty much.
So what do you have to do to make the team? What's the next step?
There's like a standard that I would have to hit, but they have that throughout all the events, all different disability types. And they basically take the 60 people closest to that mark for their each different event, different disability type. So mine, if I jump what I did last year, I will have a really good shot at making the team. And of course, I'm hoping to jump a lot higher than that and hopefully hit the standard exactly. But if I do what I did last year, only to the same extent, then I will have a good shot at making the team.
Okay, so as over the years, I have seen you train so hard, and then you did get a pretty bad injury, and then you had a bit of a dark period. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, basically, over the summer, we were watching the Rio 2016 Paralympics, and I was so inspired. I was like, I'm going to make the Tokyo team. Like, it starts today. And I basically, I was in sixth grade, going into sixth grade, I basically was training like 7 days a week. I would set up courses in my backyard, jump over stuff, like just do stuff I saw. I was training like a madman, and I was in sixth grade. And it was like
without
on his own.
Wait,
Wow.
yeah,
Like on his own.
And like
Love
literally, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm like, "What's that noise?" And he's in the yard and he's put boxes and he's jumping on boxes and like
Yeah,
he's already
it was-
awake.
I just that's
Training
it was
himself.
it was, and I was just so determined to like make the Tokyo team. And I was just pounding so much on my leg. I was making them take me to the track every day after school, and I'm training there. I would sometimes I would even do my homework on the track, because I was so into it. I'm more careful about how I train now because I ended up all the training and all the pounding, I ended up having a stress fracture in my femur. And we went to the doctor, we got an MRI, and he basically told me I can't put any weight on my right leg for 3 months.
Which is his sound
And which
leg.
is literally
right.
And usually if that were to happen to an able-bodied person, they would just be on crutches. But because it's so difficult to be on crutches on a prosthetic, I was just in a wheelchair for 3 months, and it was.
And we didn't know for sure it was going to be just 3 months.
Yeah,
it had to heal. And
they had to check that it had healed. And
Right, right.
if I had messed it up and I hadn't taken the recovery process as seriously as I had, things could have been completely different, and the injury could have been prolonged for who knows how long.
Yeah.
affected you the
It
rest
could
of your
have.
life.
It literally
Absolutely.
could. If you have a physical disability, everywhere you go, people are staring, they're pointing fingers, they're whispering, you're underestimated, you're counted out. You always feel like an outsider in a sense. Mm-hmm. And sports was my place where I could go where I didn't feel like an outsider. I felt like one of the guys because I was able to compete against all my friends, basketball, soccer, football, whatever it may be. And so it's always been almost like an escape for me, like some sort of meditation where I can separate myself from the fact that I'm the only kid in my school with one leg. And when I was in a wheelchair, it was immediately taken away from me, right? And I felt like my identity was completely stripped from me, because sports is what I identified myself as. I identified myself as an athlete. And when I felt like I can't play basketball anymore, I can't run track, I can't jump, I can't even walk. Like literally, I went into like a downward spiral, and I was just sad. I was depressed. I didn't feel like I was myself. I wasn't the same Ezra that I was literally like a month prior when I would been training and having a great time. And I talked about this earlier, but like we had like all the situations that we're put in are there for a reason, right? And we always have to figure out what we can learn from the situation. And in my 3 months in a wheelchair was the most eye-opening experience I've ever had. And it has shaped the person that I am today, because we learned so much about load management, right? If I want to be able to walk when I'm 50, if I want to be able to be a functioning adult later on in my life, I have to take care of my leg, right? I only have one knee, I only have one ankle, I only have one foot. So I have to take care of my body and make sure that I'm not pounding on a knee that's not even fully developed yet or fully grown. Basically, it opened my eyes to how difficult life is in a wheelchair and how inaccessible the world is.
Yeah, you really
I really
got a
learned
heart
it.
for people. You
Even our
really
school-
understood.
His school,
Yeah.
his own school
Yeah,
didn't have any kind of.
Our house had us everywhere we went. There were stairs, and I just couldn't get up.
and at school, he couldn't get. There's like 8, 9
Our
steep
school is
stairs
so
to
much
get to
stairs.
his class. So he would have to wait in a field,
And
and
the
all
security
the kids.
the security guards would lift me up a flight of stairs so I could go to class. Then they would walkie-talkie them back. They would come, lift me up, and bring me down again. And it was so difficult for me because like also at recess and at lunch, I wasn't with my friends. Half the time I was eating alone. I was sitting by myself and then I would have a few friends that would stay with me, right? But like most of the kids were playing basketball. Most of the kids were playing football. And I could barely wheel out onto the field because it was so difficult to push on the grass and have to go back. And it was just such a mess. And then what I realized was like my dad and my mom, they started taking me to wheelchair basketball every Tuesday. And I started to work my upper body out more and started to train. Even though I wasn't putting weight on my leg, I was still training. I was working out. I was waking up again in the morning, but instead of jumping on boxes, I was doing pull-ups or doing sit-ups. I was doing stuff. So I was starting to like get my identity back in a sense. I mean, now when we're training, when we're working out, we're making sure I'm really loose. We're taking care. If there's any pain, we shut it down, do different stuff. We make sure that we're taking care of my body and treating it like the same as an elite athlete would so that my career can go till I'm 30 and I can be a functional human being in society, be able to walk, run, play sports later on in my life that I wouldn't have been able to if I hadn't had this injury and I hadn't learned from it.
Wow. So there it is, the blessing in disguise, you just
Exactly,
really turning it around.
Do you remember when we did banner quotes?
Yes.
Basically at our school we had like a banner, right? Or like a little box on like this big wall. We glued like our favorite quote on there
Oh,
and then
that's cool.
we
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
a speech about it. It just so happened that my quote was "Stars can't shine without darkness." And this was before I had my injury.
Stars can't shine
Yeah.
without darkness.
Stars
That
can't
is-
shine
Isn't that
without
great?
darkness. It was earlier in the year, and then I had the injury, and we were like, "Wow, that's pretty
There it
crazy."
is.
There
There it is. Yeah, it's like your personal motto.
Exactly, and it
And-
literally resembled what was about to happen 3 months in the future.
All right, so we're
Awesome.
going to play that jump that you did at the last Angel City Games in 2019, and it was a qualifying jump. Can you just tell us a little bit what it feels like to clear that pole, not hear that ding ding ding, right?
Yeah, it was actually funny because I hadn't hit the standard to go to all the like, big competitions that year yet, and I had 3 meets to do it. The first meet didn't clear it. Second meet didn't clear it. And the last meet, which was our event, Angel City, it was like my last chance to make the team, basically. And I was trying not to let it get to my head, but like there was a lot of people watching, and I was just trying to stay focused. And honestly, that meet feels like a complete blur to me. I was such in like a mental state of just like cloud 9 and everything. And so the feeling is basically like when I'm coming up to the bar, I'm trying to have a clear mind. I'm trying to be not thinking about anything and just focused, take it one step at a time and then just prepare to jump. And throughout the season, I had been focusing too much on like the over the bar and like trying to arch a lot. My coach told me, she's like, just jump, just have fun, just jump. It will come together. And I remember this jump really clearly because I got up and then before I knew it, like I was already falling down over the bar. And then I landed on the mat. And this was like, this was this one height that I had been spent 3 months. I hadn't gotten it. I had been working so hard to get this and I hadn't cleared it yet. It was my last chance to clear it, to make the team. And I did it. And I was just exploded and I was going crazy. And I was so happy.
Everyone was going
Yeah,
crazy. It was amazing. What was that height? What was that?
That was 1.7. So it was about like 5'8". And then we went up another height and then I cleared the next height, which was even crazier.
When you achieve your own dreams, life is amazing, right? And you see from his video, but as he's jumping around and stuff and tackling people. But when your children achieve their dreams,
know,
Yeah.
right?
it's a whole nother level of joy,
Yeah.
Yes,
right?
It
It
is.
really,
It
it
is.
really is something unique.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this clip. Be sure to watch the full episode by clicking the link in the description.
Right. And don't forget to like this video and then subscribe to our channel. Oh, and click on the bell icon so we can let you know when we post a new video.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
See you next time.